Hey, this is Ian from the Learn Gravity Forms course. This video is going to be answers to the questions that Learn Gravity Forms course customers like you have submitted. Now, some of the questions that were submitted are actually already covered in the course, but for the other ones I think are really useful, I'm going to answer them here. I actually have a list of them behind the camera over there. First point is, yes, there's a lot less hair in my head, a lot more hair in my face, and no glasses today. Switching it up on you. So, let's get started. So the first question is, how do I style gravity forms? That's an easy one. And there's actually a lot of different ways to do it. So here in my computer is a very simple form. I'm sure that, I think this is just the default 2019 theme, and that's what a very simple form looks like. So there's a few different ways to do it. Number one, what you could do is you can get a plugin called Styler for Gravity Forms. Let me just show it to you here. Let me scroll down. Here it is. Styler for Gravity Forms. It says provide gravity form styling options in a customizer. So real quick, I'm not going to go through every option, but I just want to show you how this works. So you launch your customizer, and then you go to your customizer, and then once it loads, on the left-hand side, we have Styler for Gravity Forms. You see that? So you can click on that, and I'm just going to scroll down here so we can see our form. And then we have colors, text, background. So I'm just gonna pick something ugly, just so you can see. Did you see that? So you can pick any color you want, and that'll change the background. Now I am going to try and make it not offensive. I'm just going to do that. Background color on that one, background size. So, and of course there's text color. So you can make the text red or blue. I'm gonna leave it blue. And I'm just gonna show you a few of these. So structure, padding. On this particular form on my screen here, maybe 60 is a bit much, but I'll do it anyway. All the way around. And that way you have some padding. And then also a little bit of border radius. You see how the corners right here? See the corners, how it's changing? I can do a lot or a little. That's the corner radius. And then the title, which I don't ever turn on. Description, labels. Hide labels, yes or no. I actually have a video about shortening up labels, but you can actually do it globally here. See how the labels go away? Now, if you do turn off labels, of course, you're gonna want to add them into the field visibility section. Let me come back here. Sections, inputs, full width. So now watch this form right here on my screen. When I click yes, do you see how it extended all the way across? There you go. And so you can also give it a background color within those text fields. So if I do that, that looks pretty nice. And of course you can change the alignment of that text. So that's way number one. I'm actually gonna close this and not save my changes. That's way number one, is to use a plugin such as what's called Styler for Gravity Forms. There's a different way you can do it too. If you're using Beaver Builder and Ultimate for Beaver Builder, which I highly recommend, this is what you could do if you have that set up. So I have a form here. I'm just gonna launch it. And let's see. So on the side here, I'm just gonna type form, and we have Gravity Form Styler. So you can just drag in a module called Gravity Form Styler. And then now take a look at this. So a lot of the controls that we were just looking at, I'm just gonna pick, let's say, reviews. And by the way, I hope they actually leave a review for this course. It would really help me. This is the review form. And once again, you have styles. So a lot of things I was just showing you, we can do right here in this particular module. I don't know why it's going a bit slow. There we go, we can make it pink. I don't know why you would. There's our import styler. And here's our button. So if you look down the bottom, that's just a regular send my review button, but we could actually, let's say the background, maybe we wanted that to be a green color. You could just pick a green color, and you could change the button width to full width so that it fills up the entire space. There we go. So I'm not gonna show you everything here, but that's basically the idea. You can use Ultimate for Beaver Builder, or you can use a plugin, or if you're really crazy, you can style it with CSS, but that's gonna take you forever. So that's number one. Number two on my list, how do quizzes work? Okay, I use a lot of quizzes in the Learn Gravity Forms course, as you know. Let me show it to you here in the admin area. So I'm logged in. So actually, number one, start from the beginning here. Number one, when you have Gravity Forms installed, you want to make sure that you install the quiz add-on. So how you do that is you go to add-ons, scroll all the way down till you see the, well, that's polls, here's quiz. See this right here? Quiz, active. You want to make sure that's turned on. Now I'm going to go edit a form. So I'm just going to pick any quiz. Let's say the quiz for lesson 11, just so you can see what it looks like. So over here, is it under advanced? Yes. So, well, let me show you the existing ones. So here's an existing quiz field. So you can drop this down. So I have the question, what is the purpose of a form notification? And how do you want to display the answers that people pick? So either a drop down, a radio button, or a checkbox. I chose radio buttons. You can choose whatever you want. And then you type your answers. You can have as many answers as you want. I only did 3. And then see this little checkbox right here? This is how you tell it which is the correct answer, because obviously Gravity Forms doesn't know. So you check the one that's the right answer. You could weigh the scores if you wanted. And I also recommend you randomizing the order of choices, so that way, let's say the correct answer isn't always at the top. Maybe the next time the page loads, the correct answer will be at the bottom or in the middle. So that just changes the order of the answers, which I think is a really cool idea. So once you drag in all your quiz fields, you want to come up here to settings and go down to quiz. We're going to leave. I'm not going to save any of that. Then once it loads, you'll see that. So we have grading, so pass or fail. Now, once again, depending on your course is how you want to set this up. But so pass or fail. So in order to pass any of the quizzes on this particular website, you got to get a 75 or more. Now, there's 4 questions, so you have to get 3 right out of the 4. That's how you pass. And a checkbox here to display the quiz confirmation. So when someone passes, it says, you passed, great job. Now that you understand this, you should continue to the next lesson. Pretty simple. But if someone doesn't get 75%, then they'll see the fail message, which is, well, that didn't go so well, and all that information. So that's a quick overview of quizzes. It's super simple once you get that plugin installed. Okay, here's an interesting one. Pass information from one form to another. So let's say that you have Form A on this page, and you have Form B on this page. And maybe there's a field, one field or multiple fields of information over here that when someone submits, you want to pass that data over here to Form B, okay? So that's what we're talking about. 2 forms, 2 different pages. Person fills out the first one, it sends it to the second one. Let me show you how to do that. I actually set something up kind of to show you already, so I'm not wasting your time here. So let's go to forms. So I created one form called first form, and here it is on my screen. And it's simple. It has name, phone, and agent name. We're gonna call that the first form. And then if I launch this on the front side, I actually have another form on the home page called lease an apartment, and that one has name, email, phone, apartment, unit. So we're gonna make believe that that one is Form 2. So I'm gonna show you how to get a piece of information from Form A to Form B, and we're gonna use the agent name. We could have picked any one of them, or multiple ones. We're just gonna pick the agent name just to show you. So, number 1, with this first form, so like I said, we want the agent name to go from Form A to Form B. So all we need to do is you wanna build your form out, and then you wanna come up here to confirmations, and then the default confirmation is fine. Or you can set up multiple ones, which I talked about that smart redirection in the course. But with this one right here, so what you want to do is you want to put the URL of Form B, okay? So not a Form A. So where do you want the person, after they fill out Form A, what page do they need to go to? So put that URL in this box right here. So that's what that represents. And that's just the home page, which is right here. And then on that page, we need to, in the URL, you need to pass the URL of the agent, because that's the one we want to use. So if you look right here, this is called a redirect query string. And that's just fancy words for it's going to put a value from the form into the URL bar. That's all it means. So in this case, there's going to be a variable called agent, and the value is going to be whatever the person fills out for agent name 2. Now, how did I get that in there? Well, Let me just start all over from scratch so I show you. So if you look down here, so it says sample, phone equals, and then it's a form field placeholder. So once again, I want an agent, so I'm gonna type agent equals. And then on the right-hand side is a little form picker. This contains all the form fields. So I'm gonna scroll down and I'm gonna pick agent name. See it right here? And that is gonna place that in here. So what this is now set up to do is it's when someone fills out the form, it's gonna redirect to the home page with this URL variable. So that's step one, is you need to set up your first form to redirect to your second form with a URL variable. Step number two is you need to get your second form to capture that information from the URL. A good sports analogy, if you're a sports person, I'm not, but think of like a pitcher and a catcher, right? The pitcher has to throw the ball, in this case, the ball is the data. Pitcher has to throw the ball to the second person, which is the catcher. So now we need to set the catcher up to catch the data. So how we do that is we have to go edit that second form. So that form that's on the home page is called lease an apartment. And I'm gonna come down here, which is leasing information. And I'm gonna go down to the agent field because I want the agent to catch that variable from the URL. Drop this down. And so if you look on advanced, there's a little checkbox here that says allow field to be populated dynamically. And if you look, this is being, it'll be able to catch the data from the query string if you see that right there. So that's what we want. And the parameter is the agent. Remember how I typed in agent and then I put the little placeholder after it? Well, that word before the equal sign, was it equal sign? You know, I'm actually gonna open it up so I'm not telling you the wrong information. I don't wanna just guess. Let me go here. I think it was equal sign. Yes, okay. So if you look on my screen, so I typed agent and then I put an equal sign. So whatever you type here, whether it's agent, phone, name, pizza, whatever, you need to make sure that you specify that here. That's gonna be the parameter. That's the glove on the catcher, if that makes makes sense to you. It needs to catch it. This is how we're gonna do it. So with all that set up, I then put that form on a page called first form, and it's right here. So now watch when I submit this. So I'm just gonna type testing, and then a phone number. I'm just gonna make something up. So agent name, let's just say learn G forms. And I'm gonna hit submit. Now watch what happens. So it redirected to the second page, which is what we wanted. But then if we scroll down, look, it put that information in the right spot. And if you actually look up here in the URL bar, you can see that agent equals, and it says learn gravity forms. So that's how this form is capturing that. It's whatever's in the URL. So you could actually, just to show you, you could actually put, oh, I don't know, apples, and then hit enter. And now watch. Now agent is apples. So anything in the URL bar is gonna get captured by that field. So that's passing information from one form to another on a different page. Let's go. Okay, creating PDFs. All right, this one is difficult. So there's the plugin that is probably the most popular. It's called Gravity PDFs, and it is a disaster of a plugin. I don't know if the Gravity PDF person is gonna watch this, but your plugin's a disaster. There are so many things that you need to do and to be comfortable with to make that work, such as, obviously FTPing is pretty easy, but you have to write like PHP to get it to function. You know what, I'm gonna pull it up. I just wanna show you what a disaster this is. This is actually a great idea for someone to create a plugin that would work. Let me go support documentation. Is it here? Yeah. Installation. Let me keep going. I just want to show you creating PDF, core PDF fonts, not that one. Global settings, not that one. I just want to show you it's crazy. You know what? I'm not going to waste your time. I'm gonna give you the link to this page for you to click around, but that's a crazy tutorial. I'm not gonna get involved in that right now. But I'll give you a link if you wanna learn it. It's terrible. All right, let me continue. How do we add functionality to a form submit button? Example, perform a Google search from a text string entered into a form field. Okay, so actually we're gonna do something very similar to what I was just saying, passing URL variables. So this person asked about performing a Google search from a text string entered into a form field. So now that we talked about passing URL variables, it's actually gonna be quite similar. I'm just gonna launch, let's say, a new incognito window here. So what you wanna do, so the Google search, for example, number one, you wanna find out the URL parameter that Google uses when it performs a search. So how I would do something like that is I'm just gonna type, let's say, a bunch of sixes or just a crazy bunch of numbers and then hit search. And then if you look up in the URL bar, you can see that information right here. Now, I'm gonna get rid of all this and hit enter. Okay, so you can now see, and let me just change this. Let me change it to a bunch of zeros at the end and then hit enter. Okay, so this right here is the URL that Google uses when it performs a search. So if we take this, let me move this down here. Well, let's go back here. Actually, I'll edit that first form again. Go first form, because we'll just use the same one. And confirmation, default confirmation. So let's say we're gonna put the agent name. We're gonna search for the agent name in Google when someone presses submit. So I'm gonna get the URL of all of this. So just to search, copy that. I'm gonna paste it here. I'm gonna replace that. And then, so if you look, it's just Q. They use Q and then equals. So I'm just gonna do this. Q equals. And you know, I'm gonna put, I was just looking. Sometimes you should put a little, sometimes you might need a slash at the end. Sometimes you don't. I'm just gonna try this one without it because that'll probably work. So we now have this formatted just like how a Google performs a search, right? Google.com/search and then that. So save confirmation. Let's launch that. And whatever, bunch of numbers. So the agent name will say ice cream, whatever. And then hit submit. So now we should get redirected to Google with a search for ice cream, let's say. There you go. So you see it put the URL, it put the variable right there in the URL bar. Now, if you actually go back to the lesson on, I think it's called Smart Redirection, where you can have multiple redirects. What you could do is, let's say you wanted one form, maybe to redirect to Google if someone, maybe you could have a drop down of, let's say, Google, eBay, Yahoo, Reddit, whatever. And then you can set up conditional logic to redirect the person with a search query to all those different sites. You just set up multiple confirmations. Just follow along with the tutorial about smart redirections. Okay, that's that one. Okay, what are the paintings on the wall behind you in the video? So the previous video I made, I was actually standing over there. Let me show you. Go for a little walk. Here we go. Not really a walk, more of a push the chair back, like this. So yeah, this is some paintings that we made. I would not call us very talented. And by us, I mean Amy and I. That one. Some of them, you have to read the words and get a little explanation. Some over here. Oh, I particularly like this one. If you look at that one, it says, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. I thought that was very cool. And actually that is a model of a resort right there that we made. Long story. All right, let's come back. Come back over here. I'll place you here. Hopefully you won't fall. Okay, that's it. Display entries on the front end. Okay, so if there are certain situations where you want to have someone fill out some information or a bunch of people fill out information and then either show that information to them or show that information to someone else. So this is how you show Gravity Forms entries on the front end. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. I personally would use Toolset, but if you're not comfortable with Toolset and doing something like that, it's really in-depth Toolset. Here's a very simple plugin that you could use. So let me go to plugins, and the plugin is called Gravity Forms Sticky List. It's very, very simple. Let me see, make sure we have it here. Where is it? Gravity Forms Sticky List, okay. So once you get that installed, go to any of your forms. I'm just gonna pick, let's say leasing information. I believe that's what I set this up for. So if you look under settings, we now have Sticky List. So here are the options for sticky. I'm not going to go through all of them because there's a lot. I'm just going to go through the quick ones. So enable for this form, yes or no. Show entries in list 2. So that's basically saying, who do you want to see this? I'm just choosing everyone, just that everyone can see it, obviously depending on what you're making. So the embedded page post. So this will be, where is the form, this form by this form, leasing information, embedded, and oddly enough, it's actually embedded on the home page, which is that. Custom URL, you can make files clickable, link to post. So edit entries, that'll give you a little edit button where someone could actually edit the information that's submitted, which I'll show you in a second. You could enable deleting. Like I said, I didn't enable a lot of things, but there's a lot of options here. List sort and list per page, pagination. So once you have that set up on your form, then you need to edit your form. Watch me come here. Let me go back, hold on 1 second, lease an apartment. Make sure that's saved. I don't want to screw things up. Just a minute. So you want to come to your form, and then you want to drop down your form, and you want to scroll down, and you see there's now a new section in every field that says sticky list, show and list. You either check it or you don't have to check it. So if you wanted to show name here, and then you give it a column label, which is name. If you wanted to show email, once again, check show and list. The same for phone. Apartment unit, I think that's what I did. So once you've gone through each of your form fields and checked the right boxes, then let's go now, we can leave. Where did I do it? Display entries. So if you look on this page, it's just a little bit of shortcode. Sticky ID 3, the documentation will show you, that actually refers to the form, I believe. And then let me just check out this page. Let me go back. When you launch this, display entries. Here we go. Here we go. So you can see John Doe, Andy Apples, and Ian Anderson all filled these things out. But I'm going to show you, and then what we could do is you could click, let's say, edit on this one, and it'll take you back to the form, and then you can see all the information where you can then make a change and then click update. But like I said, that's an optional thing to do. But let me just show it to you actually working. So let me go lease an apartment. I'm just going to make something up. Let's say Johnny Jones. Why not? Johnny Jones at site.com. Phone number, make something up. What apartment do they want? They want apartment 100, and the agent is Tyler. And then hit submit. All right, so the person would see the confirmation message. Now you could redirect them to see the entries if you wanted, but you don't have to. But once that's submitted, now watch when I come back here and reload the page. There it is, Johnny Jones, email, unit, agent. So that's how you display not confirmation, entries on the front end. All right, the last one is, can Gravity Forms mimic WP triggers? Now, if you're familiar with the Web Designers Academy plugin called WP Triggers, you'll know that it basically gives you a box, and depending on what you type into that box, it'll perform certain actions, whether it displays a message, or maybe it'll redirect you somewhere. Well, yeah, those are the two things. Or if you didn't get any of those things right, then it would show you a default confirmation. So it's actually quite easy to create something like this in Gravity Forms. I'm just gonna do a quick example. And you know what, I'll just use the first form just because it's available and on my screen here. And I'll just tack on to what we have. So let me go to forms. And let me go to confirmation. So it's all about the confirmations, really, and adding multiple ones. So let's say that the default confirmation, if the visitor doesn't get anything correct, and by correct, we'll talk about that in a second, we'll say No, that is not correct. Try again. Like I said, I'm just gonna go kind of quick here because you could get W triggers and avoid all this, but I'm gonna show you how to do it anyway. That's that one. Now let's add a form field. I'm just gonna do something super easy. We're just gonna say, we'll bring in a number. We'll say, what's your zip code? Well, how about this? A real example would be, enter your zip code to see if we deliver to your area. Okay, that's that. And I'm just going to hit update. Okay, that form field's there. Now let's go back to confirmations. So let's say that you're setting up something like this and you want to be able to tell the people that live in a certain zip code area that yes, we deliver to your area. Well, let's do that here. So we'll have to go confirmation. So we'll say delivery, and we'll leave it on text. We'll say, yes, we deliver to your area. Place in order. So then you want to come down here. Now, once again, this is kind of similar to redirect, smart redirect, the lesson, but so conditional logic, enter your zip code. So if the enter your zip code is, let's say 33624, or, and so we should also need to set up not to all, but to any. So whether the person types in 33624 or 33625, we can keep going here. Let's say 33626. You can keep going. I don't have to keep going with that, but list out all the zip codes that you want and then hit save confirmation. So basically what's going to happen is it's going to show that yes, we deliver to your area if the person typed in one of those 3 zip codes. Let's see it in action here. Let me come here and reload the page. So enter your zip code. So I'm just going to type something random, something like that, and submit. See, no, that is not correct. Try again. Let me go back. Now when I type, let's say 33624, enter. Yes, we delivered to your area, okay? So you can set up a lot of different actions to happen depending on what the user submitted, whether it's gravity forms, whether it's a zip code, or maybe you want to redirect them to a secret page, or you want to, you could probably even display another gravity forms. So I just want to show you, that was just a quick answer to that question. And that is all the questions that we have on the screen. This video is about a half hour, although we got about a minute left. How about this? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you some bloopers, some outtakes from the last time I made a bunch of videos standing over on that screen, where you hear me swear and generally become frustrated in life. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and enjoy me not being able to speak. Hey, this is Ian from the Learn Gravity Forum. Hey, that's because I only want a certain... This is... so to be... And give you... The Gravity Forms course will be released... shit. Hey, welcome to the Learn... Hey. Academy. Now, video, I want to show you now. Oh, and by the way, shit. So that's pretty awesome. Now, if you don't actually want,